everybody hear this? Is anyone not ready?
Plan: the United States federal government should substantially increase its transportation infrastructure investment in a national high-speed rail network. Requisite funding guaranteed. First is inherency. Congressional budget battles kill Obama's vision for high-speed rail funding. New visions and investments are required to wake up the zombified plans for innovative high-speed rail network. This is Megasin. In 11, House Republicans voted to kill a transportation bill resulting in funding for high-speed rail. The eliminated America's rail program is now in shambles. We are being given the opportunity to refocus high-speed rail. The Obama administration bungled its program, losing the opportunity to build rail in areas like the Northeast Corridor. If all dollars are spread too thin and spent on improvements that weren't high-speed, and all the Senate voted to restore $100 million in spending, but with limited funds on which progress can be made. Advantage 1 is climate. An undeniable scientific consensus has validated the existence of anthropogenic warming. Projected carbon emissions are much higher than predicted, and positive feedbacks are increasing at rapid rates. This is man. In 12, scientists are finding a war question of politicians who simply don't like our findings. Fossil industries have to fund those who tackle work. The these graphs show global temperatures level then track increasing carbon dioxide, which coincide with growing use of fossil fuels. We can see a complete picture of our climate tells us the Earth is warming. Human activities causing what we are looking at substantial rises in sea level, increasingly intense heat waves of floods and threats to global fresh water and food resources as we continue to burn fossil fuels. Ideologists try to make climate ends out to be a house of cars. National Academy of Science found a conclusion to be valid. Accuracy reports in 2007 new scientific findings that indicated warming is worse than we thought. Carbon emissions are higher than projected. Arctic sea ice is melting faster than expected. Living converged. Observed and projected sea levels are increasing, and unabated climate change collapses civilization. This is Figueres. In 11, climate change will threaten the foundation on which humanity is built. It is introduced water supply and growing demand will lead to increased competition. D, unpredictable weather patterns will lead to failing agricultural production and higher food prices, leading to food insecurity, changes in sea level, and natural disasters. Water shortages have the potential to cause large-scale destabilization, population movements. This climate change threatens to increase poverty, no role and capacity of governments to meet the basic needs of their people, which contribute to the emergence, spread, and longevity of conflict. And if the U.S. leads the way, other key international actors will follow suit. This is Holdren. In 8. If the U.S. finally takes the lead, the EU will quickly adopt an economy-wide approach. So will Japan and Russia. While will the Chinese, Brazilians, and Indians join the African answers rapidly changing? Yes, these countries have figured out that the disruption of global climate is already harming them. Changes in monsoon patterns are hurting agricultural productivity in China, India, and Tibet, and glaciers are disappearing at an alarming rate. The rainforests in Brazil and Indonesia are drying and burning. It is past time for this nation to start to lead. And high-speed rail creates massive net reductions in CO2 emissions. It offsets emissions from oil-based planes and cars. Rivington and Kurth in 10. A high-speed rail network would attract passengers who would have taken cars or planes, reducing emissions. Rail travel emits 60% less carbon dioxide per passenger mile than cars, and 66% less than planes. Electric trains show the most potential for emission reductions, even using today's carbon-intensive electricity grid. A passenger on electric train in Germany produces about 93% less air pollution than some terms like car, 91 less than by plane. All would produce the lower carbon dioxide emissions per passenger mile powered by the U.S. electric grid. Electric trains could eventually be powered with emissions-free renewable energy. Rail transport is much more fuel-efficient than truck transport for freight, and high-speed rail can operate on grid connection traction fueled by renewable energy. That's key to lowering our carbon footprint. This is Pearl in 11. Speed rail offers a proven means of reducing dependence since electricity as an energy carrier can be generated from mixing sources that incorporate geothermal, hydro, solar, wind energy, and immediate improvement oil produce heat, introducing renewable energy and transportation. Grid connected traction offers the only realistic option for significantly reducing oil use in transportation. High-speed trains have proven their success in drawing passengers out of both cars and planes with a much lower carbon footprint. Advantage 2 is employment. First, the U.S. is the driving force behind currency devaluation in China. Weak unemployment in the U.S. is inextricably tied to weak import demand, makes trade wars inevitable. This is Flintoff. In 12, what matters to the rest of the world is the amount of demand the U.S. is going to generate. Weak job growth concerns all major trade partners in China. Economic growth has already slipped because of declined demand for its exports in. The U.S. employment growth continues to remain weak, will lead to greater trade tensions with China. Politicians in both countries would likely be looking for someone to blame the value of China's currency fell in relation to dollars. Finally, China said to make China's exports cheaper and therefore more competitive. The low value of the renminbi has been a point of contention between the U.S. and China, and full-blown U.S.-China trade war caused by U.S. unemployment concern crushes the global economy. This is Li Shan in 12. Trade disputes have become increasingly intense. Conflicts will inevitably have an impact on the recovery of the global economy. The ultimate result will be continuing downsizing. Trade disputes will disrupt resource distribution in the U.S. in order to secure globalization has waged trade wars. One of the reasons is the financial crisis disrupted the U.S. economy and amplified unemployment problem. Only when the U.S. economy and domestic purchasing power have fully recovered from jobs or unskilled workers start to rise in turn. A trade war against China would badly affect China's industrial development. Coupled with frustrated exports, they would have to withdraw from the market. And global economic contraction ensures multiple scenarios for extinction. This is Burroughs and Harris in 9. The Great Depression is not likely to be repeated. Lessons to be drawn include harmful effects of flesh and democracy on the sustainability of multi-level institutions. There is no reason to have an opportunity in the 21st century. The ways conflict growth seem more apt and volatile. Economic environment, terrorism, and people decline. If economic growth damage, most dangerous positive casualty of any economically induced problem of U.S. military events would be the Middle East. Nuclear armed Iran could lead states to develop nuclear ambitions. Uncertainty around the attention may take focus on preemption, conflict of resources could reemerge and protection. Some grows and ongoing financial crisis and prolonged recession would tilt the scales even further in the direction of a fragmented international system with a heightened risk of conflict. And studies prove that high-speed rail boosts overall U.S. employment levels through agglomeration benefits is back to dollar at all. And 10. The non-transportation economic benefits of high-speed rail may be important. Investments to put businesses into a closer connection with the gains productivity industries benefit in many ways by easy connection between the urban centers. High-speed rail allows cities to tap into the collective economic access of their neighbors. Small cities can take advantage of larger markets of jobs and business opportunities in nearby metropolitan hubs. And China acts as a key test case. High-speed rail development was their key solution to create employment in the face of economic collapse. This is back to dollar at all. And 10. China has embarked on the world's most ambitious program of high-speed rail construction, creating jobs, laying the groundwork for future economic growth. China's rapidly accumulating experience does show that high-speed rail has potential to create large numbers of construction jobs quickly.
Next is Sullivan.
Federal government funding is key to creating a national high-speed rail network. Stable funding attracts needed investor confidence for rail equipment, while equitable federal to state funding can overcome imbalanced federal allocation standards. This is Ridlington and Kirk et al. In 10. The federal government will necessarily be a large source of financing for high-speed rail. Federal policymakers should aim to bind state and regional projects together. It speaks of the national vision of transportation. The worst, most costly mistake America can make is to not invest adequate resources in upgrading and expanding our passenger rail network. Failing to invest in necessitate greater spending on highways and airports and forestall economic growth. As important as the lack of funding has been, the instability of funding for passenger rail has made it difficult to undertake long-term capital planning and build investor confidence necessary to establish vibrant domestic industries to supply rail equipment to ensure stable funding for high-speed rail. A dedicated allocation of funds should match state investments by financing transportation markets that equitably states will be able to make rational transportation based on the needs of their residents. Finally, the federal government is key to create national standards for high-speed rail infrastructure through significant investment. This is Ridlington and Kirk et al. In 10. The federal government should play a crucial role in developing standards for high-speed rail to improve replicability of successful projects and maximize the efficiency of manufacturers. The federal government would set technological standards that are specific enough to allow for economies of scale, yet broad enough to allow for competition and vision for the future of America's rail network, including compelling national goal. Existing Amtrak services should be upgraded.
That's good.
Says that failure to pass the transportation bill in December put our rail system on track to failure. If that's true, when are these supposed trade wars with China going to happen?
Well, I think the evidence we would want to look to for that answer would be the first two cards in our China advantage, which are actually from June and May, prove that trade wars are starting to happen. Well, the lead up to trade wars has already begun to happen in the sense that China started to devalue its currency.
Because of unemployment, the unemployment rate hasn't been lower than 8%, since Obama's been president. For 4 years, there hasn't been a trade war. Why is now the time for a trade war to happen?
Our evidence is pretty good that China's economy was uniquely hit hard over the course of the first half of this year.
What happened to them?
Our evidence just kind of cites that manufacturing dropped off.
That China's not doing great right now?
No, our evidence cites a couple things, mostly tied to U.S. job growth, and specifically the manufacturing sector didn't bounce back like everyone thought it would.
All right, that's fine. Leads me to my next question. Lijian evidence that you seem to be quoting says, and I quote, "The U.S. has had to give its technology and financial sectors its primary competitive advantage in the global market more incentives to survive the current crisis. Why would we plan to do anything to affect the technology and finance sectors, which your evidence says are our primary competitive advantages?"
That is an irrelevant point. That piece of evidence is saying that because we focused on those sectors, things like manufacturing and other low-end jobs have suffered, and that's why demand is low. Our plan would solve for those jobs.
What would the plan be to increase the manufacturing industry?
We created demand for high-speed rail technology and other manufacturing goods.
All right. How does the plan get people into jobs?
The federal government puts down funds to allow for capital investment.
My question is more specific to your Foxendall evidence.
Okay.
It says high-speed rail will connect business centers and to urban centers.
Oh, sure.
How will that guarantee that people get jobs? That they can get on a train and go where there's jobs? Why does it mean this? they can get those.
Our evidence is pretty good that agglomeration, when different business sectors are linked and allowed to connect more easily with each other, that creates more jobs because there's increased things like trade and business moving between those sectors. People from areas where there maybe weren't business opportunities can more easily move to areas where business opportunities exist or job opportunities exist.
That doesn't guarantee that they get those jobs, correct? I don't
know how that.
I have to ask another question. Your
Okay.
alternate evidence says the U.S. leads other countries in climate policy.
Yeah.
What incentive does the plan give if we're so far behind in transportation infrastructure? Wouldn't it just be seen as the U.S. catching up, not leading the way?
No, the plan would be seen as the U.S.'s massive first step towards reducing emissions. The fact that we're behind in transportation is kind of irrelevant to that.
Number 37,